Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Monday, the 19th of December. Good to have you aboard, however you're listening to us. Love you long time, whatever podcast platform it is. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. The algorithm likes when you do that, and then it helps me, and then I get the monies, and we keep doing all of this. ZASLOW Show 2.0, always presented by Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. If you're dealing with any kind of injury from an accident, however it was caused, you call up Anidjar and Levine. You get an attorney on the phone right away. Let them advise you and take care of all the extracurricular stuff while you're getting better and you're getting healthy. Let them get you the money that you deserve. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. What a sports weekend. Now, we knew this going in, right? You got Heat basketball. You got Panthers hockey. You got the World Cup. You got the Dolphins. You got so much going on. This was a monster sports weekend. And look, I want to talk a lot about the World Cup and what happened there yesterday. We're obviously going to start with the Dolphins, but Heat and Panthers with a great win on Saturday night. They're back at it tonight. And the Heat, with their best stretch of the season right now, they're 4-0. They're back at home tomorrow against Chicago. So there's a lot happening here. This was a tremendous sports weekend. Yesterday felt weird, though, with the Dolphin game Saturday night. Like, I kind of didn't know what to do with myself. I was really pissed off with the Dolphins' loss on Saturday night. Really, really angry. And it's actually funny because my son, my older son, he's taking these Dolphins losses hard. And there's part of me where it's like, hey, man, you got to chill out. But then there's another part of me, and this is the part that I'm really focused on. Then there's the other part of me where I'm kind of proud of him. Because I was exactly the same way. I mean, I was a disaster after these Dolphins losses. I was terrible to be around. You could not console me. Don't talk to me about the Dolphins for a couple of days. And that's how he is. So there's a part of me that's kind of proud in that regard that he takes it so hard. Because, man, that is a carbon copy of the way that I used to handle Dolphin games. So I'm probably getting a little bit of what I deserve there as a father, where I did this to my dad. Although my dad didn't care as much, care about the Dolphins for sure, but he's losing zero sleep over Dolphins wins and losses. For me, though, I certainly care, but man, my son takes these losses hard. But here's probably what a lot of people listening are going through as well, right? Where, my son, my older one, he's 13, he'll be 14 next month. This is the first time in his life where the Dolphins been good. First time. So the stakes have been raised, and the expectations are now higher. And that's another thing that we got to talk about today, is expectation from the Dolphin fan. But expectations are now higher, and your kids experiencing a winning, fun Dolphin team for the first time. I'm probably not the only one. You're probably experiencing this as well, where our kids, our sons, our daughters are reacting differently, right, to Dolphins losses than they did previously. We're seeing a side of them that we haven't seen before because the games matter more, because the games mean more. And we're going to continue to see that these final 3 weeks of the regular season and then hopefully into playoff games. So Saturday, let's get right to it here, all right? So the Dolphins lose their third consecutive game. Everybody knows that by now. And boy, what a streaky season. They start off by winning 3, then losing 3, then winning 5, now losing 3. And my guess is they're going to finish by winning 3. The Dolphins are going to be favored all 3 of these games remaining in the season. Now, before we get to that part, despite the usual December collapse, we talked about this the last couple of weeks where, the Dolphins, this is going back to my childhood, where every week I think they're going to win, and they got a great quarterback, and they score tons of points, and the offense is fun. And what I forgot was, that also comes with the December collapse. Remember how that goes? Despite the usual December collapse that we're in the midst of right now, so going into the game this past weekend, we're going to find out. We're going to learn, are these the same old Dolphins? That's what we're going to find out. And if you're not the same old Dolphins, Then you go into Buffalo, a place you never win in this kind of weather. With a huge December game. You go into Buffalo and you win this game. Then you prove to everyone you're not the same old Dolphins. Despite the usual December collapse, it's not the same old Dolphins. It's not. Like, they didn't win the game that they really needed to win on Saturday night because now the playoff scenario is in jeopardy, although I don't really think the playoffs are in jeopardy, but technically it is, especially because if the Jets would have won yesterday, the Dolphins would actually have been on the outside looking in. But I don't actually believe that the playoffs, that the wild card is in jeopardy. Despite losing a game that you felt like they had to have, this is not the same old Dolphins, all right? The Dolphins, and I have a hard time taking silver linings out of the game on Saturday night, but if we want to look at the big picture, the reality is Dolphins are really good. And the Dolphins showed that on Saturday night, despite not being able to close out the game, despite not being able to hold on to an 8-point lead early in the fourth quarter. And then things got crazy with the wind and the snow, which, I mean, is not why the Dolphins didn't win the game whatsoever. But we saw, everyone else saw, the Dolphins are really good. And like Josh Allen said after the game, probably going to see them again in the playoffs. Yep, probably. Might be the first round. Probably going to see them again in the playoffs. The big picture from Saturday night, if there ever was a good loss, that was it. Dolphins are really good. You saw it Saturday night. Everybody saw it. Tua went out there in the cold. Dolphins ran the ball really well. Tua played very well. Wasn't great, played very well. His receivers really let him down. You know, Tyreek Hill drops a touchdown. Trent Sherfield drops a touchdown. I think Durham Smythe had a drop at one point. Dolphins receivers really let... Tua was placing the ball in perfect position, especially the first half. Tua was placing the ball in perfect position, and his receivers were letting him down in a big way. Tua played very well. Was he great? No. He played very well. And in the cold, that was important. So we can shelve that conversation for now. Dolphins are really good. But here's why I have a hard time looking at the silver lining. Here's why I have a hard time. Even though big picture-wise, if there ever was a good loss, that was it. But this was the third consecutive loss. I got a hard time taking a positive outlook. Unless I can really dig down and look at the big picture, which is probably what we should be doing, I got a hard time taking a positive outlook out of that game. I got a hard time taking a silver lining out of that game because it was their third consecutive loss. Like if that game was the loss that snapped the 5-game win streak instead of the San Francisco game, I'd have been like, all right, streak was going to come to an end at some point. We're really good. It's not like that was a bad loss. There's no shame in losing at Buffalo in a game that nobody thought you were going to win, in a game that you were a 7-point dog. There's no shame in losing that game. That's the macro view. That's probably the smarter view. But the micro view is it's 3 consecutive losses. And we're going to get to this weekend against Green Bay on Christmas Day, and the Dolphins have not won a game in a month. That's the micro view, and that's the place that I'm sitting on right now. And here's the thing, and this is not a small thing. This is important to point out. All 3 losses, Tua has been outplayed by the other quarterback. It's true. And now, like I said, Tua played well on Saturday night. Played well. Wasn't good enough, though. And even though he played well, the other quarterback outplayed him. And the other quarterback made all the plays in the fourth quarter, especially. No one's sitting here saying Tua's any kind of reason they didn't win. But the fact of the matter is, you look at Tua on Saturday night, you look at Josh Allen on Saturday night. Josh Allen outplayed him. Josh Allen made the plays in the end to win the game. Tua didn't. Tua didn't make bad plays. Dolphins picked up a couple first downs, drive stalled, punted it back away. And the possession right before that, too. Dolphins get the ball. They had a chance to really drive a stake through their heart. You're up 26-21. Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, you get the sack fumble. You got the ball at midfield now. If the Dolphins manage to punch it in the end zone, game's over. Now, getting a field goal is great. You go up 8. That's good. And defense didn't hold up their end of the bargain there. Gave up the touchdown and gave up the 2-point conversion, which, again, another play that their quarterback made. They end up reviewing it. He got over the line barely. But again, another play that their quarterback made with the game on the line. Tua was good enough to win the game. But all 3 losses during this streak, Tua's been outplayed by the other quarterback. That's just a fact. That doesn't mean Tua's not my dog. I already scolded, those folks last week who are, Tua's still my quarterback. Shut the hell up. You sound stupid. You sound so stupid. Of course he's still your quarterback. Stop with the Tua's still my quarterback. You sound so stupid. Tua's my dog. But the fact of the matter is, 3-game lose. I mean, is this a coincidence? 3-game losing streak. Brock Purdy outplayed Tua. In a game, Tua played very poor. Justin Herbert outplayed Tua. Josh Allen outplayed Tua. Dolphins lost all 3 games. That's not a coincidence. That's the way this league works, man. That's not a coincidence. Now, overall, hey, Dolphins know they got a franchise quarterback. That's why this season's going to wind up being a big success. But in those 3 games, the Dolphins were not good enough. A couple of them, the quarterback did not play well. And this past week, Tua got outplayed by an elite quarterback, one of the best in the league. 3-game losing streak. You got to point it out. All 3 losses, Tua's been outplayed by their quarterback. That's not a knock on Tua. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Now, here's the reality, and this part's important, okay? 3 games left in the season and a chance to get to 11 wins. Now, I understand 16 games, 17-game schedule, 11 wins. 3 games left in the season and a chance to get to 11 wins. Before the season started, I thought this was a 10 or 11-win team. The Dolphins are going to be favored in all 3 of these games. They're favored by 4.5 right now. Opening line, Dolphins favored at home by 4.5. They're going to be favored at New England. Stupid Patriots. Don't you worry. We'll get to that coming up on our NFL Rundown, brought to us by Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. What a stupid team. Mac Jones, he sucks. Oh, he sucks. But the Dolphins are going to be favored in all 3 games. Then they'll be favored at home against the Jets, of course, who are taking quite a nosedive themselves, too. Were the Jets 6-3? Now they're 7-7. So the Jets have lost 4 of 5. They're another stupid team, too. You love to see it. Here's the reality. And this is where our expectations change, all right? Expectations change in the middle of the season. 3 games left and a chance to get to 11 wins. If you would have told anyone the Dolphins are 8-6 and they're going to be favored the final 3 games of the season, Green Bay, at New England, New York Jets, you'd be like, wow, this is a good season. And that's still the truth. I got a hard time right now. I'm looking at I feel the micro view where, yeah, that's, they went toe-to-toe with the Beast of the East in their stadium, in the worst weather, and showed everyone they're really good. But I got a hard time looking at the macro view because the micro view, they've lost 3 in a row. And that's really bugging me right now. I got a hard time looking at it that way. But the fact of the matter is, they're going to be favored the final 3 games of this season. They're going to win these 3 games. Dolphins are really good. And despite losing, after the first 2 games, 49ers and Chargers, I think there's probably a lot of people, I think there's probably a lot of guys in that locker room that are down in themselves. And even though it's 3 games in a row now that they've lost, I think they're feeling better, actually, after the 3-game losing skid than they were after the 2 games. I think they're feeling better. Because they know, all right, we've corrected some things here, and we went toe-to-toe. We weren't good enough. We didn't make enough plays. But we're a really good team. If the Dolphins, I think Mike McDaniel talked about this too. If the Dolphins played in San Francisco and at the Chargers the way that they did at Buffalo, Dolphins win each of those games by 3 touchdowns. They do. They're going to win these 3 games to finish the season. And it's still an awesome season. Not just good. They're going to finish 11-6. And they're going to make the playoffs as a wild card. Hell, they may jump up to number 5. We'll get you your NFL standings coming up. Again, we got our full NFL rundown brought to us by Brunt Insurance coming up in a little bit. Also, by the way, our pal Ruthie Polinsky is going to join us, NBC6. We'll talk Dolphin football with her. But the Dolphins, when they win these final 3 games, they get into the playoffs as a wild card. They're not winning the division. Everybody knows that. It's not just a good season. It's going to be an awesome season. Hey, what would you think if Mike McDaniel's first year, the Dolphins win 11 games and make the playoffs? That's an awesome season. It's awesome. Awesome. But here's the thing. This is what happened. Here's the thing. Our expectations changed. They'd won 5 in a row. We were 8-3. Best offense you've ever seen in your life. And our expectations changed. And it felt differently about what the expectation is going forward. We got ahead of ourselves. Going into the season, you would have said, competing for a playoff spot. It's a good season. Or making the playoffs. That's the goal. That's the goal, making the playoffs. And then, after 11 games, the goal then became winning the Super Bowl. I mean, Chris Collinsworth on television after the San Francisco game, before the Charger game, was talking about the Dolphins. This is a Super Bowl team. We went from before the season where if they make the playoffs, fantastic season, that's the goal, to then, hey, let's win the Super Bowl. Because expectations change. And we got ahead of ourselves. And that's okay. But now we're back. Now we I don't know, we're back to reality. We got to get back to reality. And that includes me. Because I'm super angry about the 3-game losing streak. I'm super angry about not being able to hang on Saturday nights. But I got to get back to reality. Because they're going to win these final 3 games. And they're going to make the playoffs. And we're all going to sit here and say, this is an awesome season. Okay. You're going to feel great after these 3 games. You are. And I talk about it on my television right now. Bills defeat Dolphins, 32-29. They're showing all the snow. For the second week in a row, Josh Boyer is going to be fired after this season. And I know the defense, they just a ton of injuries. And boy, give it up. The middle of that defense, Christian Wilkins, who might be the best defensive tackle in football. Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer, tremendous. Jalen Phillips, tremendous. And I'm, Javon Howard made a couple big plays. I'm worried about the secondary. Xavier Howard, he gets picked on a little bit now. I think Xavier Howard's a little bit of a, there's something to be concerned about there. And Kader Kohu did a really nice job. He had the huge penalty, of course. But Kader Kohu has been a very pleasant surprise. What was he, 7th-round pick? Was he undrafted? 7th-round pick? Either way. Worried about the Dolphins secondary to be certain, but at least they're starting to get a pass rush again. And Christian Wilkins and Zach Wheeler, my goodness. Really great shit. But for the second week in a row, and Josh Boyer is going to be fired after the year. For the second week in a row, for me, biggest play of the game came at the end of the first half. Second straight week. At the end of the first half against the Chargers, they got the ball on the goal line. They decided to go for it instead of going for a field goal. They score. They get the touchdown there. Huge play. And how did that get set up? Because it was 3rd and goal on the 17. And the Dolphins are playing everyone at the goal line, and they allow 16 yards to Austin Eckler, and he gets to the 1. And so then instead of settling for a field goal, they decide, hey, we're going to go for it. And they got it. If you hold them there, at the end of the game, when it was 23-14, Dolphins got a field goal, made it 23-17, couldn't recover the onside kick. Instead, it's 19-14 in that spot. He lost 4 points because of 3rd and 17. It's 19-14 in that spot. They're not going to kick a long field goal at Jason Sanders. They're going to go for it to try and win the game. Dolphins lost that game last week on 3rd and 17. 3rd and goal from the 17 right before the end of the half. And they lost the game at the end of the half this week too. Josh Allen, the Bills are about to blow it. for the second straight time against the Dolphins this year. Remember the end of the first half in the game in Miami where Josh Allen, he bobbled the snap, right? So he couldn't spike it. He had to throw it, and then the clock ran out, and they got no points at the end of the first half. Same thing almost happened this week, except it wasn't bobbling the snap and then not spiking the ball. He's rolling out, he's running out of time, and he finds a man open in the end zone for the touchdown. If that pass is incomplete, that's a monster play. They don't get those 7 points going into the half, and you got a much different ball game here. Biggest play of the game for me came at the end of the first half for the second consecutive week. The Dolphins could not stop the Bills on that final play. If they stop them there, it's a completely different ball game. Instead of 21-13 at the half, it's 14-13 at the half. Massive. And, Dolphins, of course, going into the fourth quarter, the Dolphins are up 26-21, outscored them 13-0 in the third quarter. What if it was 26-14 going into the fourth quarter? Last play of the half. Last play of the half killed the Dolphins again. Second straight week. That's tough to swallow. That is. That's tough to swallow. So, I know there's a lot of criticism being directed at Mike McDaniel for not running the ball enough. Dolphins ran the ball super well. Why did they keep running it? Well, eventually, the defense is going to make some adjustments. And like Mike McDaniel said, the defense is going to make some adjustments. They're going to try and take that away from you. And guess what? The Dolphins are built to pass the football. So when the defense is adjusting and trying to take away what's been working for you, go to what you're built for. And this team is built in the passing game. So I don't have so much of a problem with, I know it's easy to point the finger at Mike McDaniel. I know a lot of Dolphin fans are doing that. Hey, rookie coach going to make some mistakes, man. Rookie quarterback. I mean, hell, Tua Tagovailoa making huge mistakes the first 2 years. Rookie quarterback's going to make some mistakes. Rookie coach can make some mistakes. It's going to happen. Now, we do have a ZASLOW Show poll question for today. Very controversial poll question. ZASLOW Show poll question. Go to @ZASLOW Show on Twitter. You can also hit me up on Instagram. I'm an influencer, but I love responding to you guys. That's @ZASLOWJ. But @ZASLOW Show on Twitter. You can hit me up always there. And you can also vote in the poll question that is out right now. Today's ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll question. Did the way the Patriots lost make you feel better? That's today's poll question. Did the way the Patriots lost make you feel better? And the answers are yes, I can't stop laughing, or no. And right now, with 92% of the vote, you're answering yes, you can't stop laughing. What a shit show the end of that Patriots game was. I love it so much. Mac Jones, he got face mushed into the ground. He was buried. That's his grave now. They made the middle of that field in Vegas a cemetery, and it says now, here lies Mac Jones' career, thanks to Chandler Jones. That was funny as hell. I can watch that all day long. I love that. I want that to play on a loop. And my birthday next month, all right? My birthday's in January. My birthday next month, I want a big screen TV. And I want Mac Jones being face mushed into the grass. I want it playing on a loop. Happy birthday to me. When we get to our NFL rundown coming up in a few moments here, I want to talk about the World Cup. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What a World Cup. Whew. I mean, you're feeling dizzy after watching that World Cup game. You can't believe it. If you're feeling dizzy, by the way, Doctors on Call 365 is South Florida's urgent care that comes to you. You want to call Dr. Alon and his team. They're going to come to your home and check you out. If you're feeling dizzy, now if you're feeling dizzy after the World Cup match, you're probably just super excited. But if that's not the case, then you got to call Doctors on Call 365. 786-577-9302. If you need a IV, if you need vitamin therapy, you need blood drawn, he'll order x-rays for you. He'll test you right there in your living room for COVID, flu, strep, whatever you got going on. Doctors on Call 365, South Florida's urgent care that comes to you. They're going to come to your home. You don't have to call the doctor. He's going to say, all right, I got an opening in second week in January. No. Doctors on Call 365 is coming to your home. Now, there's self-pay right now, but you got Medicare acceptance on the way soon. Private insurance acceptance is coming down the line. You're going to pay less out of your pocket for Doctors on Call 365 than if you go to the emergency room. You sit there forever and wait. The copay is going to be more expensive. DoctorsOnCall365.com, 786-577-9302. So, in the ZASLOW mansion, we root for Argentina when the U.S. is out. We love Messi. My wife's family's Argentinian, so we're heavy into Argentina. And you don't need me to tell you how amazing this game was, all right? You watched it. You know how amazing it was. I have no problem with it going to PKs. You know, my wife was saying, oh, why do they end the game like this? They should keep playing. You can't play forever. Here's the thing. They play 90 minutes and then another 30, 120 minutes. You can't keep playing forever. And it's, someone's going to score, though. Yeah, well, you know that now. There were 2 goals scored in overtime. You know that now. But there are plenty of games that are 0-0 at the end of 120 minutes. This game, there happened to be scoring. Maybe they would have scored if they went to golden goal. Maybe they wouldn't. You can't play forever. Somebody's eventually going to get hurt, especially because at this point, you've used all your substitutions. And here's the thing. Oh, you got to keep playing. They'll find a winner. Think about this. 120 minutes is what they played. An NFL game is half the time. 60 minutes. An NBA game is less than half the time. 48 minutes. An NHL game is 60 minutes. The soccer, the World Cup with the overtime, they just played 120 minutes. It's more than enough time to get a winner. And they didn't get one. So we got to go to penalties. I got no problem with that. What I do want to talk about here is this may have been the greatest game I've ever seen. It was the greatest soccer match I've ever seen, hands down. Not debatable. But it may be the greatest game I've ever seen between teams that, like, I don't have a stake in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, greatest games, like, I'm going to go something with the Heat for sure. Greatest games I've ever seen that you don't have a stake in. Like, for me, the most excited I'd ever been over a game with teams that I don't have a real rooting interest, although I did have a rooting interest in that game, but, like, neither one of them is my team. You understand what I'm saying? Patriots going for the undefeated season. I was rooting so hard for the Giants, of course, but neither one of these are my teams, and I've never been more into a game. I've never been more excited about a game, about an outcome, in-game, what have you, than that Giants-Patriots Super Bowl. This game is right up there. If you take out your rooting interest, you take out your team, this is it's the best soccer match I've ever seen. That not debatable. It might be the greatest game I've ever seen because of all the drama, but also, how about this? Yes, the storyline of Lionel Messi, he's undisputed greatest player ever now. Although, undisputed as far as best player today, like Ronaldo, like that's over. Is he undisputed greatest player ever? I don't know. That's not for me to talk about. I'm not a soccer expert here. But you got the storyline of Lionel Messi in Argentina in the greatest soccer match I've ever seen. But here's the thing. Here's why this might be as great a sports game you've ever seen. Not only did it live up to the hype, but here's World Cup final, but here's how it lived up to the hype. The 2 star players, Messi, Mbappe. Have we ever seen this before, where the 2 star players, who are considered 2 of the greatest players in the world, you got Messi, who is the greatest player in the world, and Mbappe, who looks like he's going to be the greatest player in the world. You got the 2 star players from each team having the game of their lives in the championship game. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, for example, the game that I just gave you, the Giants, the Patriots, it'd have been like if Eli Manning and Tom Brady each had the greatest game of their life. Brady did not have a good game, period. And Eli Manning's not one of the greatest ever. So you have a game, hey, what about Game 7, 2016 NBA Finals where the Cavs came back from 3 games to 1? LeBron was incredible, but Steph Curry didn't have a great game. You have a winner-take-all championship game, which, by the way, I mean, this is the Super Bowl. It's actually bigger than the Super Bowl, the World Cup. The entire world is watching. You got as big a sporting event as there is in our world. It's a winner-take-all championship game. You have 2 of the best players in the world. One of them might be the best player ever. The other one may end up the best player ever. And both of them have the games of their lives in maybe the best soccer match of all time. I've never seen a sporting event like it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, Messi with 2 goals in his last chance to win a World Cup. Mbappe with 3 goals coming back from down 2-0 with essentially 10 minutes remaining in the game. You have the all-time greatest soccer match, 2 of the all-time great players, and both of them have the games of their lives in the biggest moment. I've never seen anything like it. It might be the greatest sporting event, a sporting match game of all time when you factor in everything I just gave you. Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Obviously super thrilled with Messi winning. And you know what I thought was kind of cool? You may think it's kind of weird that I said, by the way, I'm waiting around an hour for them to bring that World Cup trophy out there. I want to see Messi raise the trophy. I got to sit around for an hour for that. Come on, let's get this thing going. I got places to be. I really just had football to watch. But anyway, you know what I kind of dug? That Messi didn't cry. You probably think to yourself, oh, ZASLOW, what do you mean you liked it? Didn't you want to see him cry? Yeah, I did want to see him cry because you knew he was going to be super emotional. But at the same time, I was like, I felt like it's so cliche for him to cry. And he didn't cry. You knew he was, I mean, come on. You know it's the most important thing in the world to him, and it was the greatest win of his life. But I kind of liked it that he didn't cry, because it's kind of cliche, you know? And he didn't cry, even though he's super emotional. And by the way, let's put a local spin on this. Messi winning that World Cup is likely good for his chances. If you believe in this, if you believe that the rumors are legit with him and Inter Miami, legit enough that they brought it up on the broadcast of the World Cup. If you believe in those rumors, Messi winning the World Cup, he's accomplished everything. Much better chance of those rumors coming to fruition now that he's won the World Cup, now that he's won everything. How about that? I was thinking about it. How about that? What a sports weekend. You factor in everything I gave you there, I think it may have been the greatest sporting event I've ever seen in my life. Not only is the game phenomenal, in a championship winner-take-all game, not only does it go the distance, you get the monumental comeback. 2-0's a blowout. And by the way, Argentina was blowing them out, especially the first half. They were dominating the game. You get the incredibly dramatic comeback, and then in overtime, both teams score. And then you get a great shootout. And the goalkeeper for Argentina, not only does he stop 2, obviously, in the shootout, or maybe just stop one of them went wide. He may have just stopped 1. Nonetheless. But also, the save late in overtime. Kick save and a beauty. I've never seen I've never seen a game like it. To have that performance from Messi and Mbappe in that spot. Never seen anything like it. What a match. What a match.